World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM, New York.
Hey, what's happening? What's Urbanology.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony Rogers, your host for Urbanology, the Art of War. And for those who may not know, new listeners, my birth name is William Anthony Rogers. And for many years, I've also have been a student of the great strategist Sun Tzu. So actually, it was my son who came up with a name that I should, use as a brand, The Art of War, W period, A period, R period. And I have a book with that title as well as some of the things that you're seeing. So for those who are new, that's just kind of an explanation of Urbanology, The Art of War. We, when I say we, the Harlem Tourism Board was on a wonderful fam trip. Just got back a couple of days ago to Senegal. The Harlem Tourism Board has developed a relationship between Air Senegal and the Senegalese Tourism Agency to begin to promote African and Caribbean American visitors to Senegal, to Africa, but Senegal. And one of the major reasons why that has happened because my guest Jackie Orange and I had been talking to the Senegal government for some time, looking at developing a sister city between Harlem and Senegal. And recently, a couple of months ago, Air Senegal started flying direct to Senegal from JFK. And based on that connection and some other reasons, there has been conversations that were redeveloped that ended in a fam trip where 7 members of the Harlem Tourism Board were able to go to look at planning uh, not only a trip and travel towards Africa and Senegal in particular, but to develop a 5-year marketing plan directed at African Americans and Caribbean Americans to have them start to look at Africa not only as a place to travel, but also as a place to do business, which is why my second guest today, Dr. Woodhouse, Dr. Yana Woodhouse, is a financial plan guru, one of the top 10 in the country, and the first Black woman on Wall Street, and on and on and on. But more importantly, was able to, she, had an eye every time we would go past a place. She would say, well, we could do some business here. We could raise some money here. We could create some bonds here so that there's a financial connection. So I would like to bring on my two guests who was part of this trip and who really was part of a group that, it was, I call it the Magnificent Seven because it came out to be seven of us at one point. So first, Jackie Orange, who is just getting back, and as you can see, she's wearing her African stuff, and of course, Dr. Yana Woodhouse, who is like again a person who I was so glad that Dr. Woodhouse was with us because she was able to point out all of the business opportunities that people here could understand and know, and also figure out how that could work from purchasing wells in certain places and designs and all of that type of stuff. So please, ladies, give the listeners a little bit of your feedback as to this fam trip. Dr. Woodhouse, why don't you go first?
Okay, and I'll start off with Mengadef. um, I did see things from a different perspective because I see that Africa is number one, rich in resources, and the combination between Harlem and Senegal will change the world. So I was very honored. Thank you, Tony, for allowing me to participate. And the key is, yes, there's a lot of opportunity. And my philosophy is, all the time that we in our urban community need to invest in ourselves. Last year, we spent $1.6 trillion and it wasn't in our own businesses. So here I saw the opportunity where the resources that were in Senegal would allow us to participate and possibly be able to help Senegal grow because they're ready to make those moves and help us to become financially astute and strong. And so I thought this was just a win-win situation. It's been tried a few years and many times, but I think we're the secret weapon to be able to make a difference. But one aspect before I close is that being able to provide wells in Senegal for as little as $1,000 and changing the villages and the opportunity there. And we could do that, whereas we spend $1,000 easily in buying clothes and buying other people's name brands and not investing in ourselves. And so I see this as a great opportunity that if we structure it right, because that's one of the things that our people have problems doing is structuring our businesses right. But with that help, I'm there to help, that we could structure some deals that would be a win-win. They say one hand washes the other and together we wash the face.
But again, we'll have to come back to that, because we are at this time, it's an interesting time. And as you had mentioned, a lot of people have tried to do what we seem to be right in the middle of doing. And Jackie, you well before I go to Jackie, it just reminded me of a kind of a funny short story. When we were coming back, for some reason, I don't know, I must have dropped my passport or something, but I couldn't get in, and so I had disappeared. And not my passport, my phone,
Cell
which
phone.
everything was on, and nobody knew where I was, and it was kind of scary because I added all of my stuff was there, but fortunately, Jasmine Pfeiffer, who's not here, was called me and we got it together. When I sat down with Yana, she says, I scared that they might have got you because a lot of people have been trying to bring this African American connection together. We've been talking about this on YouTube and on which we have been doing this for, bringing people together and having meetings with people. She said, and I'm saying that so if I disappear, we're on the right track, and I want you guys to carry on. Jackie Orange, Jackie, again, besides being, my go-to person when I talk about tourism and all of that stuff. She's been doing this for some time, and so happy that she's with me on the Harlem Tourism Board and was with me 5 years ago when we started this conversation about Senegal and going backwards and forwards. And we had some ups and downs, and sometimes I would say I don't want to do it, and she would do it, and then she would say, well, maybe we can do it this way. And I was saying, this ain't gonna happen. And actually, Jackie actually spent money. We thought she was going one time, and she spent money to get stuff done, and then that fell through. So when a couple of months ago, when this came up again, I was wondering whether Jackie even wanted to have the conversation, because she looked at me, Tony, I don't know. But it did happen. I guess everything happens when it's supposed to. And actually, even getting there, Jackie, was having some social issues, so she didn't stay off, but she was able to come when she was supposed to. And that's what's happening all over. Things happen when you're supposed to. So she was able to meet with the Minister of Tourism and some other people when we weren't able to do that. So, Jackie, please talk a little bit about your short but memorable experience when you went to this.
Well, I got the entire 7 days, so I was happy about that. And I just want to start off by saying, Tony, thank you, because you're right. I was ready to just park it on the shelf. I had given up the idea of going to Senegal since I knew that it was just too much. We went through a lot trying to make this happen. And when it did happen and you were persistent, and I appreciate you for your persistence when I was ready to let it go. And it happened and I made it. Passport issues, vaccine card issues and all. I still made it on the plane, and I was able to spend 7 days in Senegal, which was very exciting. It was a wonderful experience. And I too look forward to the investment opportunities, and look forward to talking with Yana more about that, the opportunities that will happen in Senegal. What I like is the people. It was just, I don't know what I expected to see, but what I saw was amazing. And the experience was amazing. They were surrounded by water, it's a coastal country, and we saw Black children surfing. We had a sand dunes. We got to see sand dunes, and I was able to experience things that you didn't experience. There were some things, you did that I didn't do, and that was okay. So we all got it documented from having videographers and photographers. And going to the Pink Lake was a wonderful experience, where we were able to do four wheeling out there. And who knew this was in Africa, right? Available to us. We don't expect that going to Africa. The food is absolutely amazing. Those of us that live here in Harlem, we get to have chebbijen and yassa and mafe and all this, but we had it in Senegal, and it was absolutely amazing the night they gave us the right food, and there was no conversation at that table that night. It was a lot of quiet. Um, I enjoyed, all the beautiful people. In fact, I want to read something that just sums up what Senegal represent and who they are. Um, they often say it's the land of Teranga. Teranga is the most important value in Senegalese culture. And that is described as the blend of hospitality, respect, community, and solidarity. Taranga is, in fact, much more than a set of values. It is the element of respect, community, and solidarity used to evoke warmth, friendliness, and selflessness. It guides the Senegalese way of life, and it's instilled into each generation at an early age. Now, who wouldn't want to go to a place like that? And they marry different religions, where you have other countries that are at war, religious wars. They even are buried together in the same cemeteries. It's majority Muslim country. You see people bringing out their prayer rugs and praying, multiple times a day. And they're very much community. And look at that beautiful statue we saw of family. They believe in that. So it's a really warm, and I feel like I felt the warmth there, that they wanted to make sure we had a good time, that we got what we wanted, that we saw what we wanted. And they went above and beyond to make sure Taranga was expressed and felt for our group. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And it's unfortunate that the colonizer has created this type of impression about Africans, and they don't like you, and in many cases, what you see is that a lot of times when Africans or Asians or Europeans can come here, they have a different value system as relates to, especially Africans, people of color, and that colonial mindset puts a situation where it's divided. Divide and conquer has always been the case. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't really, in many cases, get a chance to see the brother on the block or the person like you who's there. But
Mm-hmm.
now, with the ability to talk to people on your computer and there's no language barrier, and to be able to do what we were able to do, to go there and actually see for ourselves, we become the ambassadors in a sense, to be able to say. I know one woman said, I was on a cab and everything stopped because they had to do prayer. They pray, but things don't stop. you know, there are beaches there. So was it, why do you keep saying there are beaches? Because most people don't know that there are beaches there. So those are the things that we have become now, the ambassadors. And the beauty of it is that we have a soul city. We
Mm-hmm.
have Catherine Warren, who's doing a lot of the filming and the like. We have photographers, William Adams. And then we have the financial people. We have, Yana Woodhouse. And we have Craig Harris was with us, who's dealing with the whole jazz component of it and the music components. And then we met people, Sonny Moore, who does fashion, and other people. So something has happened, and I think that's what we all feel. Something has happened that's very special as it
Mm-hmm.
relates to reconnecting um, our home and for the rest of my life, and I hope that people who are watching this will have a chance to experience what I'm experiencing, and I know that you have for the rest of my life, I will always look at home differently. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I just will chime in because I've been to different parts of Africa, and again, you're touched, by the history, the power. But I had never felt anything as strong as going to Senegal. I had an experience prior to some years ago. I took my brother Alaji Soli to the airport, and people were coming up to me and they were saying Mengadef, and I said Magnifique. And then I was like, I don't know how to talk. It's so sad. And I cried, because I said they took this away from me. They took me from home and my family. But while we were on our way to Goree Island, it touched me even more because it was the realization that my folks had come this route. And Minnie looked at me again, and it was like, sister, you're back. As a matter of fact, Ali's soul said to me, he says, you're well off. You know, just enjoy it. You're home. And I recognized it, and then I thought of my ancestors, and though part might be well off, I have another part that's from Madagascar that we traced, and I'm like, Dad, they went all the way across Africa and took us and put
Mhm.
us in these rooms, these dungeons, and we might not have been able to speak to each other then either,
Mhm.
and but we were able to make it, and the blood that flows through our veins, all of us here, we should be very proud. We are strong people, because if you could last through those dungeons for 3 months and then
And
3 months on the water,
and then with the master
that's it. And them
for
coming
400
in,
years.
violating you, and then your babies are next door and you can't help them. And I was speaking to one of my associates who is white, and I mentioned Goree Island, and she says, I'm so sorry. I never heard of Goree Island. I said, well, you're going to hear about it now. I'm going to teach you, and I say to my brothers and sisters, which is just on my heart now, because when I'm coming back, I got hit a little bit. I got hit hard. I talked to, because I was so full, and two brothers that I spoke to tried to counteract that feeling and say, you had a good experience, but they don't like us. They don't want to deal with us. And I said to them both, different times, I said, you know what? They probably don't, because you come home acting like a tourist. You need to go home and be returning home to family and treat family as such. And if family doesn't treat you right, just like when we go down south and we got that cousin that we really don't want to talk to, and
And
we go
everybody
back.
has one.
Everybody, look, the cousin, the uncle, Uncle Bo,
Get drunk,
and,
curse you out, and all of that stuff. Yeah.
but you don't stop loving them. And the thing is that we let, just like you said, Tony, we allow folks to separate us.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to do that right now. And just my closing is to really recognize those that deal in the Bible. Remember, the chosen people were put on a stray for 400 years. Sound familiar? And to come into their blessing was after the 400 years. And that's why you're saying that this is a time that's different, because our 400 years are done. And it's time for us to come into our blessing. And
Mhm.
we're doing it.
Dr. Woodhouse, I mean, what happens is I saw you in that dungeon, and I saw you feel it. I saw the tears that came out of your eyes, but then I saw the pride, of knowing that we are here that happened, but we're back.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back with a vengeance.
That's right.
You
We're
know,
not taking no stuff.
you know, we're back with a vengeance. And Jackie, what was your take back when you met with the dignitaries that we didn't have a chance to talk to? I think it was the minister of tourism and some other people.
Mm-hmm. And the owner, the director of the tour company who
Right,
organized
right, which was
everything
great.
for us.
In what is it in
Ravinia,
in
Ravinia.
in Vinia?
Mm-hmm.
They
And
were wonderful. I mean, whether you
wonderful.
go with HTB, if you go in Vinia, if they can do what they did with us to you, you will always be
Mm-hmm.
welcome in Senegal and in Ghana and the other places that they work from.
Yes, they were very nice. They were excited to, meet with us, and that we put forth to them to have a quarterly meeting. Let's
Hmm.
get together and have a quarterly meeting to keep the conversation flowing, so that we can know where we're at
Hmm.
in bridging that path for the U.S. and Ghana.
Hmm.
So they didn't, give a 100% okay to it, but I don't think they're on, they would decline in doing it. I think they're open to it because they want the business, and they lack the African Americans coming to Senegal. They need to increase that population of people coming to visit there. They have all the Europeans and other people coming, but we need to show up. And
Yeah,
it's accessible now, 7 hours. That's not bad. Not
yeah.
21, not 12, but 7 hours. 7 hours is very doable. And I don't think people realize you could do it now that they're 3 days a week. Delta Air Senegal has 2 days, and I think Delta has 1 day
Mhm.
that you can go to Senegal in 7 hours. That makes it very accessible. And
Right.
once you get there, you don't have to go to Mexico. You don't have to go to Jamaica again, or, the Caribbean. We've been there, done that many times. It's time to go to Africa.
And you can have the same type. I mean, we went to a number of hotels. There's some hotels in Dakar that we didn't go to that are beautiful, but we went to some in Sally. Is it right? It's Sally.
Yes.
Sally.
And you close your eyes and open it up. You could be in any Caribbean, any European, wherever you go to have a good time. They had saunas and pools and all of the things that people go away for. But this is at your home. When we were in Goree Island, one of the guys that was helping us, I said, "Well, why don't black people fly?" And I I looked at it. I said, "What do you mean?" This is you don't fly every time. We only get white people. We get Europeans, and we don't get any people from Africa. African Americans is what she was saying, not black African Americans. And I said, well, we do fly a lot. We go to the Caribbean, we go to uh, all over. We go to Europe, we go to Paris, we go to places, but for some reason, and that's probably why we're here, we have not seen home as the place that we want to go to relax and to sit in the sun and to eat good food, experience new things. And that's based on communication.
Hmm.
That's one of the reasons why I asked Matt McCoy and Jasmine Pfeiffer to please come with this so that you can do what we're doing now, so that we can begin to show people that going home. I mean, this is not a hard sell here, you know, but it's something that has not been done. I don't
Tony,
know whether people have had the resources that we've had in a group that can do what we're doing now.
Tony, I think that we're making it accessible to them. Once we tell people and show them that we can get there in 7 hours, you could do this, and this, they will go because they just need someone to hold their hand the first time. And once somebody makes that trip the first time, they're going to do it on their own.
Which is because when I was there, I saw a lot of us who said that they were going for a visit and now they're living there and doing business there. So, matter of fact, Matt, who is one of the Matt, and Yana knows that Matt has great ideas. So we was looking at all of this land, and I would say, "Well, we can do a condo here. We can do a statue here." You know,
Yeah, he got carried away a
yeah,
bit with the statue.
because there
But
were so many possibilities.
that's the other thing is
So if you
that
have
we spend a lot of money on trying to get a piece of the action here in the United States. And I think that we need to wake up because even in, especially in New York and Harlem, we can't even own the land. We can borrow it, but we can't own it. Through eminent domain here in the United States, they can, if they show that they need your property, you got to give it up. Why push and try to prod and get people to respect you and to spread and respect your money? Instead, go home. You can own the land, and it's so powerful because it's back on the honor system in many ways. The honor system throughout Africa has always been if I put something down and I have a value, you can come along and pay for it. And we come to an agreement to the value. And the thing is that the chiefs can pour libation and give you the land. And then you go to the mayor and the government and register it. And one of the tour guides, Hamed, he says, "That's it." And I was like, wait a minute. And then the value of the property of what you can own, you can have a seafront property and a beautiful residence with about 4 bedrooms, and you're looking at about $90,000. You can't get that for a half of a bedroom in New York. So why are we
A
taking
studio apartment.
that's it our Federal Reserve notes and begging people to respect us with it when we can go somewhere and relax and see our own people deal with that? Now it ain't gonna be perfect. I know that, because we people, we humans, we spirits having this human experience, so we got problems sometimes. But do you want to have the problem with someone who's definitely relentlessly not going to allow you to do things, or do you want to not necessarily give up your home here? We're born in America. Okay, great, but why can't we have dual? Right now in Ghana, you can have dual citizenship. You can apply. Now, how many people have done that? I know some of my European counterparts out here have dual citizenship in France, Italy. What's our problem? We just got to prove that we belong there. Well, we do. So that's the end of the story. I said, look at my face, take my DNA, you got it. And so I think that's why we can, we can keep our little apartments here in our concrete jungle, but we can also know that we have some place to go where there's warmth. And I had someone ask me, they said, well, is it true that as you walk on the streets, the animals come out and walk? I said, look, we ain't talking about, we're not going to what is it, Coming to America, and the elephants are coming by. And my thing is, and I'll stop here, is that if you want to know, go see. Even you spend, I would recommend spend at least 15 days, but we had 7. Spend the 7, spend 3. Get a chance to experience and talk to your brothers and sisters. And like I said, don't go there acting like some stranger. Go there that you went home and that you need help because you've been away a long time. It's been hundreds of years you've been away, but you came home. And I've been found. I was just watching a TV what is it, a biopic with this young lady who in Harlem was stolen from the hospital, and the family found her 23 years later.
Wow.
And I thought it was awesome for me because we've been stolen away for 400 years,
400 years.
and she didn't know her family. And I could feel what she was feeling because I don't know my family, but I work very hard to get to know them,
Mhm.
and it's an experience that you need to have. And if you don't feel anything when you go, then maybe you shouldn't be there. you
Yeah,
might need,
that's true.
you might have been thrown away so far that you can't come back. So
Right.
it's okay. Everybody can't come.
Right.
They say there's 144,000 that will be blessed.
Mhm.
Because we some Bible folks, so I can hang with them. And so 144,000. Well, out of the 144,000, some of them not going to be able to come. It's all right.
And for those who would like to hear more of Dr. Yana Woodhouse, not only in her wisdom but also in her financial uh, wisdom, she has a show on Thursdays, and you should tune right here. Go on Thursday, Dr. Yana Woodhouse, dealing with finance. You will not only hear the wisdom of this woman, my sister, my queen, but also understanding certain things that is necessary, which is why it was so much of a gift to have her in tax season, mind you, here now and there.
Yeah, my
Because I know
clients really got something to say.
Uh-oh.
she got a couple. She got a couple of calls. I said, "You all right?" She said, "Oh, no, it's a client." Fortunately, we have phones and we can connect. But
Yes.
it was important. I, from a spiritual point of view, I, I believe that this was supposed to happen, and it did. But it's the beginning of something that's much larger than perhaps any of us may know about.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, thousands of people, based on what Soul City was able to do, and got to give a shout out to Catherine Warren. There's so much information that has gone out. I don't know whether or not there is a record of this type of information, the way it was done, going out to so many people about Africa.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, there have been things that have gone out, and there's been a lot of stuff, but not the way we were able to film, not the stuff, everything that we. You imagine everything that we saw is going out into the eyes. Jackie was saying Jackie couldn't get here because of some ticket stuff, but she says, "But Tony, I'm with you. I'm there every day. I see what you're seeing."
Right.
And and if you think about what we experienced, there's so many people who are seeing that now. So what we've done, I guess we all have to watch our backs because a lot of people might not be comfortable about that, but they're busy in Europe, so they can't focus on us now. so, so,
Keep them busy.
Mm-hmm.
but it's such a blessing. I mean, to be on Soul City now, for those who didn't see it, who will now go back to the websites because all of this stuff is posted to see it, we have created a situation where people who never really had, I know, I can say that, I don't have a scientific research study to say it, but I can assure you that people listening, some people will say to themselves, Dr. Woodhouse has an interesting concept here. I do have somebody. I would like to figure out how I could put my money into my home, and I know that there's someone who's thinking about that. Now we can do that. Now we have that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I've sent
we
my
have,
email today already
huh?
and left a
I
message
got your
on
email.
Woodhouse email, and I left a phone message. So I'm ready.
And not only that is that I have an appointment because I just developed an LLC, and she was saying to me, you know how many people have done with LLCs? They don't, you know, if I had a dollar for every LLC that I know about, I would be a millionaire, a
Mhm.
billionaire. So I said, well, let me let me talk to you because I art war travel and tours. I figured something was allowing for me to understand something that I, you know, sometimes when you're a guy that I've learned as I got older, sometimes things come into your mind and you question, well, why is this coming to me this way? But I've learned to do it, and sooner or later it'll catch up with me as to why I was getting it. I've had an LLC was sitting there. I only, you know, Dr. Woodhouse said, is it, you know, what kind of LLC? I didn't even, you know, because it was there. It has not been activated. But now I'm going to do that because that's one of the things that I'm going to do is start bringing people on trips. Matter of fact, we have one June 2nd to June the 16th that we're working on. But you know, it's something that's bigger than us. You know, it was not me. It was something else. As you know, Jackie will attest. We've been trying to do this for 5 years, but the right element had to be put into place. The right people, for whatever the reasons are, had to be put into place in order to make it happen the way it happened. And if it hadn't happened 5 years ago, the conversation wouldn't be as powerful as it is now.
Mhm.
All of the stuff that has happened has allowed for us to be where we are now with the wisdom and understanding based on what's going on, the pandemics and all of those types of things, that you know this is something that's meaningful. And I am so glad that the Matt McCoys, the Jasmines, the Dr. Woodhouses, the Jacqueline Oranges, the Cats, and the Craig Harris. And I have to, Craig Harris is having a special event. Jackie, it's tomorrow, right?
It's so it they're having a little workshop today, and then they're having a concert tomorrow at Aaron Davis Hall.
Right. It's his 50th anniversary.
Mhm.
And he's doing
Mm.
a lot of, he was doing a show dealing with
Mm.
Sun Ra because he played with Sun Ra, and so he had workshops at the college and a number of things. And it's on an event, bright, and it's free. But you got
Mhm.
to register. But if you have a chance, go, and Jackie has the information. But he
Um,
was with us. Craig is unique. There are some films of Craig playing his trombone on the beach, and we met with the head of the Senegal Jazz Festival to talk about some things. Probably next year will be more focused than this year because it's short. But
well, I could give you the information. It's sponsored by Jazzmobile, and
Robin
it's
Bell,
at Shepherd Hall, room
you said
190.
Shepherd
Wait a minute,
is
event.
Aaron Davis Hall, right?
Wait a minute. Let me go in here. Presenting 57 years. Okay, Jasmo's Bill has been presenting programs for 57 years. Okay, let's see. Yes, and continues to explore the various forms of music as well as other genres that have influenced jazz or have been influenced by it. With musical director Craig Harris, we will bring sunrise music to the public through the performing visual arts, master classes, panel discussions, and technology. The program includes an ensemble of musicians, some of whom, like Harris, also perform and recorded with Sun Ra along with other professional musicians. The program will incorporate diverse types of musical instruments, configurations in tribute to the music of Sun Ra. The master classes and panel discussions with artists across the artistic genres will focus on sunrise methodology, and most programs will be for the general audiences and will also target students as well as aficionado fans of the music of Sun Ra. And so the master class, in partnership with Jazz Studies Department of the City College of New York, Craig Harris leads a master class with an in-depth exploration of both his compositions as well
And
as Sun Ra's
and
unique.
that's past. That was this week, I think.
Oh, that was Monday, right.
Right.
And then today is a panel discussion. Rap on Ra
Mhm.
features artists that have worked with Sun Ra dating back to 1959 in a discussion about their diverse memories of him. Moderator Craig Harris, panelist Sean Tyson Ramirez, Ahmad Abdullah, Dick Griffith, Thomas Stanley.
Now, what,
That's today.
Jackie? What tomorrow is the concert? It's at Aaron Davis Hall, I believe.
It
And
is at Marion Anderson Theater, yes.
yeah, at Aaron Davis Hall. And if you go, if those who may be interested, if you go to Eventbrite, and is it under Craig Harris or is it under City? What is it under in
Um,
Eventbrite?
well, we have it. I would say look up Jazzmobile.
Jazzmobile. Okay,
I
all right,
think
all
Jazzmobile
right.
is the leader of this, and it's
And,
from
and
7 to 8:30.
I made this because many of us we really had an opportunity to get to know Craig. I've known Craig for many years, and Jackie is also. But Craig was with us and added an extra flavor to our trip, and to, again, as I said before, as we start to do this over a 5-year period, begin to get more African Americans. Matter of fact, the show that he's talking about was one of the things that he said, I can bring this, to the jazz, to Africa, So those are the things that are happening. But again, if you can't get to Aaron Davis Hall tomorrow, he will be in for a treat. And then it is his 57th year of performing, so it's kind of like a celebration. So, ladies, anything else that you might, we have a couple of, about 10 more minutes about some of the experiences or some of the things that you would like other people to know uh, as it relates to that. What I am saying also is that June 2nd to June 16th is the designated time. We're still putting these things together. Probably by next week, we'll have more information about cost and where we're going. But keep that in mind as you listen to some of the things that we've experienced. And plus the Soul City, Matt McCoy. Go to Facebook for those pictures that you might see. But would you like to leave anyone with thoughts, Jackie, and then Dr. Woodhouse?
I would say just remember that it would be an orgasmic experience going through with even if you're a photographer, you will get the most amazing pictures. The people are beautiful, the landscapes are gorgeous. Open your mind, go to Africa, return home, to the land of Teranga. If you have not experienced anything, this is a warm, wonderful place that you will want to put on your travel itinerary.
Dr. Woodhouse?
Well, I would just say to everyone, the go home. That's go home. There's an old adage, a statement that the elders would say is go and come back quickly and tell the story to others. And that's what we have to do. Don't go for the okey doke. Many people don't know that a lot of our brothers and sisters come here and they get brainwashed because before they get accepted to come into the country, they have to watch a video. And the first video they get to see is how terrible Harlem is. So they start to brainwash them. And I didn't know that happened until, again, one of my brothers from another mother told me. He says, no, don't take me to Harlem because they kill and murder, And I said, I'm taking you to Harlem so you can see. And he got to see the music and feel the vibe. And he says, this is like home. I was like, yeah, I know, same folks. And so don't fall for the okey doke because their objective is to separate us. So take yourself home, talk to your brothers and sisters, empty out your pockets so that you can get there and be comfortable, plan for it, sit with a financial advisor so you can make sure you can pay for it.
And Dr. Woodhouse, would you just give listeners how they might be able to reach you? Speaking
Oh,
about
sure. They can
financial
call
advisor.
my office at 646-375-2121 and say that you were on Urbanology, that you listened, and the door will open. There's the key. And of
Open
course,
sesame.
yes, you can also reach me on Anaj Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com. My door is opened, and it's open to us because my mission and passion is to bring financial literacy to our households, our community, so that we can take these trips. You know, if we're going to spend $500 for a pair of sneakers, how about spending $500 and go home and experience? And exchange ratio is happened to be 550 to 1. So you can honestly, you can do this, and then preferably, connect to Tony Rogers' company, because you do need a little tour guide. I think that's important, a travel agency, because as the brother said to you, why don't we fly? We fly. We just don't fly in the right direction. So we got to fly in the right direction because we got missions to do. Brothers and sisters, we have got to get Africa straight. I remember growing up and Mandela, we were fighting for Mandela's freedom. If you don't know who Mandela is, please look it up. And we were fighting for Mandela to be free. And we said, when Mandela is free, all of Africa and Africans will be free. Well, I'll change it a little bit because Mandela did become free from prison. But if we free and connect all people who are part of the African diaspora and we all come together, we will change the world and the world will be free. Because you think you're free, but you ain't free. You remember that when we have a job, it's called we get a salary. And that sounds a lot like slavery. So if you just take this time and listen to us, and this is how I talk to my clients, and I'm gonna talk to my family here, is that trust me. Just trust me once. Try it. And then if you don't like it, don't do it again. But try it, because I know you'll love it and you'll know what the taste of freedom is really about. Because our family and our have not had freedom. We've had an illusion. So now it's time for us to really be free.
And I, as they say, second that emotion. Jacqueline.
Mhm. Um, I concur. Be free and join us in Africa. Let Senegal be your first stop.
Yes.
And I could be reached at Taste Harlem. I mean, tour at tasteharlem.com or 212-866-7427.
And again, you could always, I have a tourism company at artwartravel@gmail.com, or the Harlem Tourism Board, where I serve as president. And of course, Soul City TV, you see them right there. And we're all connected, which is the important thing. So if you get one, you can always get to the others. So wherever you might go, it's kind of like a one-stop shop. You can get all of the things that you need. I'd like to thank you both, and also my colleagues that were able to come with us on this historic trip, which is just the beginning. We are again planning to go back June 2nd to the 16th. We'll start having information here on the Harlem Tourism Board site, and we'll be using social media mostly to get people aware of it. We're only taking about 20-25 people at this short time, so if you're interested, you probably need to send us an email or something quickly, so that you can be counted as someone who's interested in doing that. But again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next week, and with some interesting Harlem Tourism Board conversations. There's a number of things that are going on, and we're getting ready to go into the Harlem Week, the Market in the Heights, and the Uptown Market, and a number of other projects that the Tourism Board will be working with. So that should be interesting. Thank you all. I think this is about it for us for today. Senegal, you gotta come. Every African American and Caribbean American in America needs to go to Goree Island at least once in their lifetime.
Hmm.
Yes.
Just to experience it. 4 centuries, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, and the British brought most of the slaves on the Ivory Coast through that point of no return. So if you're looking at this, 9 times out of 10, somebody that's related to you took that passage. So when you go there, you understand why the energy is so strong. So if you can, with us, but if you can't go with us, go with somebody. Go to Senegal. Make that your first stop. At any rate, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. This is Tony Rogers signing off, and hopefully you have a good day. Bye.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Hey, what's happening? Urbanology.